Alrighty, today we're going to be looking at one of the computers from my vintage computer collection. This is the IBM 5155 portable PC. Portable only in the sense that it has a carrying handle and is just about light enough that a flimsy 120-pound soy boy like me can carry it up 3 flights of stairs to get it here. But otherwise it's basically an IBM XT with a CRT display stuffed into a suitcase, so it is quite heavy, as you can imagine. Now, I'm not going to go into full detail about this machine, all the ins and outs, the history and all of that. There are far better videos on that, about that subject on YouTube if you want to check them out. I'm just going to go over this machine in particular and show you what makes it a bit unique, and just go around it in case someone finds this interesting. Anyway, so I've been interested in these machines for a long time, since probably around 2003, when I was like 12 years old. I was at a thrift shop and they had one of these there, and I had no idea what it was at the time. I'd never seen anything like that, but somebody opened up the keyboard and they turned it on, and I watched it count up the RAM and then to boot into IBM BBSing, because there were no boot disks in the machine at the time. But I thought it was really cool because I'd never seen anything like that before. And of course later on in life I learned about the IBM portable PC and the compact portable and all those sort of luggable machines, and I had always wanted one. And eventually in 2022 two good friends of mine arranged this for me, and I won't mention their names on YouTube because I'm not sure if they want to be mentioned here, but if you guys are watching this video, you know who you are, and I greatly appreciate that. So thanks very much for that. Yeah, I'm definitely very glad to have this in my collection. It's one of my prized computers along with my IBM 5150, and yeah, so we'll go give it a little once around and show you some of the things that make it a bit different from a regular IBM 5155 portable PC. As you can see, it's not in perfect condition. There are scuffs, there are scratches, there are marks here and there. That label on the keyboard is a bit torn. But otherwise, for a computer that's, 40 years old, it's really not too bad. Could also do with a bit of a clean. There's dirt ingrained in the base of the keyboard, so yeah, probably should have cleaned it before filming, but whatever. If we go around the back, there's this cover here to push down, and that's where all the ports are. Amazingly, for a machine in my part of the world, it is surprisingly rust-free, because usually due to the humidity and proximity to the coast, everything here rusts like crazy, like that card there. But otherwise, power supply and most of the blanking plates are pretty clean. That's the standard IBM CGA graphics card with the composite video out, which is required for the internal display, because the internal display is basically an amber composite video monitor, kind of like a TV without a tuner, but a very high quality composite video monitor, probably one of the best out there, extremely sharp picture. And yeah, so that is a card I added, hence why it's a lot dirtier than the others. That is a serial and real-time clock combo. That's the standard IBM floppy controller card. That was a serial card that was in the machine when I got it. Parallel card that was in the machine when I got it. This is another feature that I added, which is definitely not standard, and we will get back to that, why that's there. And yeah, there's because this just uses a standard XT motherboard, there is a pass-through for the keyboard. The connector on the front, the keyboard plugs into that, cable comes around the back, plugs into the standard 5-pin DIN keyboard socket. And power supply is very reminiscent of other IBM machines with the big red power switch. The design of these power supplies, though, is very odd inside. I've had to repair 2 of them for a friend of mine, and one of them wasn't too bad. I basically just had to change a few diodes, I think, and I got it working. The other one I battled with for a long time and could never figure out why it wouldn't run properly. And eventually it got to the point where I gave up on it, and I just said to him, hey, would you be okay with me, gutting the original components and putting a modern ATX power supply board inside it and just wiring it up to the original wiring harness? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. And it worked perfectly after that. So I don't recommend repairing these power supplies if you unless you really want to keep the machine original. Like, this one is fine, hasn't given me any problems. But if the power supply in your IBM portable PC goes, save yourself a lot of headaches. Just gut the internals and put a modern power supply in it. It's a lot easier and probably a lot safer in the long run as well. So yeah, if we come around to the front again, see if I can do this one-handed. Keyboard flops down like that. It's got like a phone cord style connector and cord going from the keyboard to the machine. There's the amber composite display. Got a nice little tray here to store your floppy disks, which is pretty cool. Now, usually these machines come with 2 360K floppy drives, which is what mine came with originally, but I replaced one of them with a Seagate ST225 20 megabyte MFM hard drive, and one of the floppy drives, the one that was originally on top here, actually started developing issues. I think it may need a head alignment or something like that, because I think it couldn't read disks made on another machine or vice versa. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I just swapped it out with the one that was originally down there, and now it works fine. And interestingly enough, that 20 meg ST225 MFM drive has 0 bad sectors on it. Now, anyone who's familiar with MFM drives and loaded or formatted them knows that they almost always have at least a few bad sectors, even when they were new. But this one seems to be absolutely fine. I've run checkered on it multiple times, never come back with any bad sectors. I've run spin right, and again, never come back with any bad sectors. So I guess I got lucky on that particular drive. The keyboard can also be detached from the machine. Again, this is awkward to do with one hand, but you can do that. And makes it a bit easier, especially on a weird surface like this, to move it away from the machine, and you get better access to everything else there. So, the keyboard is a standard IBM Model F, much like that on the PC or XT. The only real difference being, apart from the bezel design here and the recess for the cable, the regular Model F has a metal back to it, whereas in order to make this a little bit more reasonable in weight, the entire keyboard case is plastic. But I mean, it's still the usual high quality IBM buckling springs that'll probably outlive me many times over, and with of course that lovely clickety sound to it. So yeah, without further ado, let's get a power cord hooked up and power this machine on. Okay, power cord hooked up. Let's switch him on. And you'll notice right away, if you're familiar with these machines, there's something that makes this a bit different from a regular IBM portable PC. That there right away. If you're familiar with the IBM portable PC, you know that the RAM counts up as it boots up, and you don't see any other screen until it boots from either the floppy drive or the hard drive. But we've got an award BIOS here and 640K of RAM. And the reason for that is that this is not the original motherboard the machine came with. Oh, and there's our clock software for the my phone doesn't like focusing, but yeah, there's the clock software for the clock card that I have in the machine. I'm running IBM DOS 3.3, and yeah, getting back to the motherboard, the guy who used to own this machine before me said that he could not get the original IBM motherboard to work correctly in it, or at all, I think. As I recall, he said the machine would, the board would short out the power supply. Now, normally that would point to shorted tantalum capacitors. It is extremely common on IBM machines of this era. But he said he checked them and he couldn't find any shorted capacitors. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. But at any rate, he put in a generic Turbo XT motherboard in this machine, which is fine. It works. It means you have 640K RAM built onto the board rather than having to use an expansion card, which those expansion cards for IBM machines are often really unreliable or finicky to set up. So I don't mind that. I mean, the character of the machine is the portable case, the display, the keyboard, all of that. The motherboard is kind of a secondary thing. So as long as it works, I am happy with it. And that, incidentally, is what that switch that I added on the back is for. So with the switch off, it is a normal 4.77 megahertz XT class machine. And if you switch the switch on, I forget if it goes into turbo mode, and I forget if it's 8 megahertz or 10 megahertz. We shall find out shortly. Run check it here. Look at that lovely display. So we go to benchmark, main system. 4.77 megahertz. NEC V20, I forgot that that's what was in there. I don't have a math code processor in here. I mean, not that it's really needed anyway. I'm not aware of much software that makes use of them. So yeah, we're slightly ahead of this of a standard IBM PC XT in terms of speed, but that's just because it's an NEC V20 in there instead of a standard IBM, well, sorry, no, Intel or AMD 8088 processor. So if I flick that switch on, if I can find it here, and then we run the benchmark. No, I don't want that. We run the benchmark again. Now, oh no, not 10 megahertz, we have to 12 megahertz. Damn, we're really going fast here. So yeah, so now look at the speed. Look at the speed. 2.7 times faster than a standard IBM PC XT. We're really bowling now. So yeah, you flick the switch and you go into turbo mode, which is pretty cool. I'm sure some games from the day won't run correctly at that speed, but you know, flick it back to normal mode and you're good to go there. Yeah, I'm not too sure what else to show there. What else do I have on here? Got the Area 5150 demo, which is a pretty cool demo, but it doesn't work 100% right on clone boards. It's through to a certain point, and then the machine crashes. But if you want to see that, look up Area 5150 on YouTube, and there's a couple of good videos on it. It's a really, really cool demo for IBM PCs. I highly recommend checking that out. There's a few games on here: Magiduck, Pac-Man, or PC Man rather, Populous, I think Chopper Commando, Paratrooper. Paratrooper is one of my favorite old IBM games. We want keyboard play. I'm not very good at it, but I do enjoy this game. Very fun little time waster from back in the day. Now you can't just spam the fire key because every time you miss you lose points. So now my score is 7, and these little guys are gonna eventually come and kill me. Or this, no, the bomb will get me first. And I'm dead. Yeah, it's a very fun little game there. What else do I have on here? I have BBSing 4.5, Banana.com. We will be checking that out later because I have a serial Wi-Fi modem with me, so we can actually do some BBSing on here. So we will check that out. WordPerfect 5.1, PFS First Choice, which is kind of like a bit like Microsoft Works. It's a combination Office suite with word processor, database, spreadsheet, all of that sort of stuff. It's pretty cool. And yeah, that's about it for that stuff. I'm not going to go through all of it, so I will get out my little Wi-Fi modem and we'll check out a couple of BBSes. So alrighty, so we've got my little USB, not the USB, rather serial Wi-Fi modem I made a number of years back. This is a simple thing I made from off-the-shelf components. So got an ESP8266 microcontroller flashed with the Z modem firmware. We have a level converter. This is to convert from 3.3 volts to 5 volt TTL level, and then a level converter to convert TTL to RS232 serial, and then a 9-pin to 25-pin serial port adapter. So a bit of a convoluted way of getting it to the machine, but it works absolutely fine. And that has been run via USB off of a power bank. And yeah, so now we can check out a couple of BBSes. We are running Banana.com, which is my favorite terminal emulator program, and easy to use, does everything that it needs to do, and yeah. So the software on the, or firmware on the ESP8266 emulates a Hayes compatible modem, so you get all the standard commands. But instead of dialing phone numbers, we can connect to IP addresses or a URL for the BBS that we want to connect to over Telnet. So in my case, I will start with my own BBS. So that would be atdtsavcc.ddns.net, and that is running on my server at home. And there we go. There it connects to my BBS. I think we're at 9600 baud. Log in here. And the first call of the day, well, I'm not surprised. Search all groups for new messages. This BBS is connected via one of those networks. I forget what it's called, but it's a bit like FidoNet, where the BBSs interconnect each other, and it's connected to one of the main Synchronet BBS systems. So I can get messages through from a bunch of other BBSs on here. So you can see people arguing about inane garbage here, much like on any other internet forum, which is always kind of amusing. So we'll get out of that, and that is the main menu of my BBS. All of this I did a custom ANSI design for. It looks a bit better on a color display than on a monochrome display. not as exciting as a lot of other BBSs out there, but it gets the job done. We've got file sections, chat, text file, all that sort of stuff. As I recall, if we go to file, where's file transfer section? I have, this is hard to read on this display, but I have a bunch of mod files on here. I forget how many. You can barely read it because of the weird way that this display just tries to show colored text. Anything with color doesn't show up quite right. But mod music files, I have 4,237. MIDI music files, 898. And we've got a few DOS utilities and stuff on there. Otherwise, not much in the way of files uploaded to this BBS as of yet. Quit out of that. We can list the users. So if we go to all, quite a lot of people have logged in here, including LGR actually. LGR himself actually logged onto this BBS at one point. Don't know where his name is in this list, but if you don't believe me, you can go there and check it out yourself. That was pretty cool. I actually asked him, I thought maybe it was someone just screwing around with me and pretending to be him. So I actually asked him about it on Twitter, and he said, nope, that was him. That was definitely him. So we have 107 total users who have made an account on this BBS, which for the BBS that I run, that's I'm pretty chuffed with that. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, not a whole lot to show on there because I haven't really done anything with this board in quite a few years. It just sort of sits there 24/7 if anyone wants to connect to it, but I haven't really maintained it or done much with it. So I actually should eventually at some point, but yeah, that's my BBS, savcc.ddns.net if you want to check it out. So we will exit out of that. And another favorite BBS of mine is Black Ice, which is a German BBS. So attdt blackice.bbsindex.de if I remember correctly. And there we go. Black Ice is loading. Enter my login. And yeah, here we are at the main screen. Again, this looks a lot better in color than it does on this monochrome amber display that doesn't display colored text or characters correctly, but still pretty cool nonetheless. And you can actually view news headlines in either English or German, which is pretty cool. I think I just selected the German one. So we want, have they changed it? Oh no, they haven't. So it's S for English news. There we go, but you can hardly read some of the text on there. But yeah, it's pretty cool. You can get modern news headlines from modern websites on BBS on a vintage computer, which I think is pretty awesome. They also do have a pretty extensive file collection. So yeah, you've got Amiga files, Android files, Commodore 64, 128 files, DOS stuff, ebooks, magazines and scans. You've got OS2 files, music, podcasts, videos, pics. I think there's even porn on there if you really want to go that far there. It's got CD-ROM images. It's actually got a really cool file selection. I definitely recommend checking that out. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And they also have a multi-BBS like IRC chat, which is pretty cool, usual message menus and so on. And when you leave, you can add a one line here. So most of them in German, but I could post something like, hey, I'm typing from IBM portable PC or something like that, and it will show up in there next time someone else visits the BBS, which is pretty cool. So we won't do that now, but I have posted on that before. So yeah, we leave that. Some nice ANSI graphics there, which again look better in color. And it's got a list of some other BBSes if you want to check them out. So yeah, that's the two BBSes we'll be looking at there. I don't know others, their address off by heart. My memory for that sort of thing is not particularly good. But if you're into BBSes, I'm sure you're well aware of the Telnet BBS guide, which has every BBS you can possibly think of listing there, including my own. And so if you want to check out other BBSes, go there and just look for what you want. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little video of my IBM portable PC. Definitely one of my favorite computers in my collection, and very glad to have it. And many thanks again to my two friends who hooked me up with this machine. I am eternally grateful for that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you again next time.